This set got wet. The bottom is like what, a limp noodle. Hey guys, it is that time of year again. It is the Fall Early Television Museum Swapmeet. Unfortunately, it's raining. We all knew this was a real possibility. Rain was certainly forecast. Some area was cleared inside, so I imagine some of the sellers are inside. The museum itself has some items for sale. This gentleman out here with the trailer, I've shown him in previous videos, and I bought some sets from him. He generally brings some pretty nice stuff. It's supposed to rain, a light rain off and on. So hopefully it'll let up for a while and people can put some stuff out. It's only a 4-hour event. At the end of which they're going to do a raffle for a rare pre-war RCA TV. Now, I got here early last night and I already purchased one item, and if it's the only thing I buy, I'm okay with that. I'll show it to you later. I don't want to get my camera wet, so right now I'm just gonna take a look around, and if there's something worth showing, I'll retrieve my camera and film it for you guys. And just like that, the sun came out. Things are definitely looking up. Here is my one purchase. So last night I was helping them set up and rearrange some stuff in the museum, and I found the back for a Scott 6T11, and I bought it. Never dawned on me that the rest of the set might be buried in the back of the museum, but I just found it. And when I first found it, the side was missing. But I figured, well, it's in really rough shape. It's also missing the frosted glass screen, but I wanted it just for parts, and especially that knob. But I went back looking, and I found the missing side, so I'm going to go back and keep looking. And maybe the screen is here. It's really rough. I'll take a look more at this when I get back home. It's my other one is rough. This is really, really rough. But, yeah, anyways, between the two, I hope I can make one complete set. All right, now on to the rest of the event. So because of the rain, basically all the sellers crammed inside.
No space between the edge of the face of the tube and the edge of the cabinet.
I remember when I was a little kid in grade school, we had this Sony reel-to-reel video camera.
Not everything you see is for sale. That stuff is basically, this is all stuff that was donated to the museum, and occasionally they sell some stuff from the museum, but some stuff is definitely never going to be for sale. The rare stuff in the back. It's funny, right about the same time I built my shelves, they built shelves here for the same reason, to get organized.
I'd like to become an Edsel collector one day, and I'm still...
All these color sets are for sale.
Edsel. Get an Edsel. Yeah. You put them on backwards. Yeah. Put them on a...
I have a G.
Yeah. Everyone looks at me funny when I say that.
Oh, it's tempting to buy a color set, but these are pretty rough. Like the CTC7, that would be project. I'm not sure if the picture tube's good. The yoke's off of it. Faux finish cabinet. Seen better days. They are cool. And there's an oddball, a 10 HP4 CRT. It's the only 10-inch electrostatic CRT. Plugged it into a little 7-inch electrostatic set, and it would work, I do believe. The pinout's the same.
Oh yeah,
all the sets are up in question.
but I've done that as well.
What was it? The gentleman in the...
Yeah.
Hey, you got the CTC5.
And away it goes.
Excuse me, folks.
Sorry. Why is it so much easier to find notes?
than a EO1 or 2 still better.
I think the reason is that the CTC5 is the most cost-reduced RCA ever, to the point where they were kind of crummy. Color set, so on that hit the lowest price point.
You sold this?
Yeah.
I think Tim Roberta bought it.
No one bought it yet.
I'll take it.
It's a very clean Teletone and Helicrafters.
I hope you load the 5. I've got a...
And check out the Zenith Speed Aligner.
jobs.
I have a TV here.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep looking for Helicrafter parts. I found everything except the frosted glass for it. Might be out there somewhere.
Okay.
A little hard to see, but this is the back of an RCA. What is it? 648 something or another. 648 PTK. So it's a projection set. It's the same guts as mine, just organized very differently. So the tuner chassis over here, whereas in mine it's like this. I took a bunch of reference photos. With the hope it'll help me and get mine going. Different mechanism on this too. From service info I've seen there's two flavors. This is the one that it has a chain around the optical barrel with a wheel on each. I think there's 4 of these or 3 of these around it, and that's for focusing. It goes to a control, and they're ganged together. So when you adjust one, I think maybe it rotates the corrective lens, something like that. Mine didn't have that. Maybe you just do it manually. I don't know. I mean by actually moving the lens. So that Scott 6T11 was buried back here. I found the side in this stuff, so I'm thinking maybe the glass could be buried here somewhere. I went back and I kept digging and I kept looking, and look what I came up with. It's the screen for this set. So that, well, watch my old video for this to see how it works. Obviously this one is all falling apart. But yeah, so the little projection unit in that, you flip the top up 45 degrees, projection unit shoots up onto this front surface mirror, and that goes onto this frosted glass, and that's where you view the picture, so this is an essential part. So now I have the dilemma of, I have all the key components to 2 of these now. So instead of making one nice one, do I make 2 okay sets? Well, that's my problem to work out, but definitely happy with this purchase. If it's the only thing I buy, that's alright. Okay, I couldn't resist. I bought another electrostatic Motorola TV. This is a 9VT1, I think. Don't quote me on that. This is a very, very dangerous place to be. I always wanted a Dumont doghouse. They had a really nice one. I got a really great price on it. And if you're going to buy one, why not buy 2? They had a really rough part set. So this is missing the original. This should have a set of wooden knobs, and the focus control is missing. They had a part set, really rough, that has all the wooden knobs. They need to be refinished, but they're all here. Broken dial glass, and it's rusty. It's a mess, and it has that focus control. Although I wonder if this is bad too. Anyway. And yeah. The event is just about over. One last thing I bought is a brand spanking new pristine projection CRT compatible with the RCA 741. So this is the old school. This is what originally it's shipped with. The one that's currently in it is an upgraded one that it's probably good, it probably works, but since they have a pristine new old stock spare, I couldn't resist picking it up.
Psycho chromatic impression of the actual color of the scene. Supposedly kept
Just sitting around waiting for the
companies make
raffle drawing.
so the people with monochrome sets to get their respect. Yeah.
But do you think this will go good?
A lot of stuff sold.
Yeah, you can have that kind of play.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Okay.
So I'll talk to Dave then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
Sounds like approximately.
Yeah, it's almost.
Well, I didn't win the raffle, but that's just as well. I got a carload full of treasures, so time to hit the road and head back home. We'll take a closer look at everything when I get there. Just made it back home about 10 minutes ago. Quickly unloaded the car. Let me share a few thoughts about the event in general and then take a closer look at what I picked up. Considering the forecast, the turnout turned out to be pretty good, and it turned out to be a pretty darn nice day. But there weren't that many people. So there are two things that happen at this swap meet. There is stuff being sold by the museum that was donated to the museum. That's most of what I bought. And then half a dozen guys came and sold. Normally they'd be out in the parking lot, but they had to sell inside with the exception of a guy who had a trailer. There was enough room, but not that much sold. And I'll tell you why. Well, one, there weren't that many buyers. Serious buyers there, maybe 10 people, myself included. And that's a tough place to sell TVs, especially restored ones, because you got guys like me there shopping. And I generally, things fall into two categories I'm looking for. One, parts chassis, because I fix TVs. I've got enough TVs to fix the rest of my life and then some. I'm looking for parts, picture tubes, knobs, that kind of thing. Or something very unusual, very cool, or something better than what I already have. So what did I buy? I bought a parts, very, very messed up Scott 6T11, primarily for the one knob I've been looking for a decade that was only used in this set that my other set is missing, and the back. Sure, it's nice to have spare parts. Could this be restored? We'll talk about that in a few minutes. The Dumont Doghouse, it's been on my wish list for a long time. I really don't have the room for it. I have other sets that use essentially the same chassis. But there's a real nice example. The 9T1. I have a whole bunch of, actually I think I now have every single model of Motorola electrostatic TV. Didn't really set out to get every model, but over the years I've picked up a bunch of them. And this is the one that eluded me, at least a nice one. I do have one, I don't think I've ever shown, that's really, really messed up. And this is much better. And the second motivator that got me to buy these particular sets is the prices were very reasonable. So let's see, I'll tell you two more things. What I look for in a set, or what I suggest you look for in a set to help evaluate it. I'll tell you what I actually paid for this stuff. So, I got good deals on these two because of a few things. One, they look to be in good condition, right? But if you know something about these sets, you know right away the knobs are wrong. This is the only correct knob on this set. This are wrong. The finish looks a little odd in spots. I think it's been maybe stripped and clear coated or something. So something's up with that. And finally, the picture tube is untested. So there's a lot of strikes against this. These knobs are very hard to find. It should be 4 bright red knobs. This is the correct one, but it's crusted over. Grill cloth is dirty. This uses an 8BP4 picture tube. Only Motorola used them to my knowledge, and only in 3 models. If this is bad, I will have a very, very hard time replacing it. Now I have another one that's messed up, but the picture tube's good. So that was another factor for me getting it. In the end, I paid $40 for it. As is, untested, didn't even look inside of it. Similarly, this guy, it looks really nice. It came from a collector's collection. There's a tag on the back with a few things. It should be all wooden knobs. Sorry about that. I leaned on my keys. It should be all wooden knobs. And even this one isn't quite right. It should have a little handle that sticks out that helps you rotate it quickly. And it's missing a control entirely. There should be a focus control here. So those are major strikes against it. Finding a matched set of wooden knobs for this is going to be very, very difficult. Also, the picture tube is untested. There's a tag in the back saying it may be a 12JP4 or QP4. The JP4 is what I think these originally came with. There's no ion trap. So it could, even if the emissions are okay, it could very well have a burn in the middle. But as is, it's untested. So, just like with this one, wrong knobs, untested CRT, very difficult to replace parts. I got it for 60 bucks. Parts chassis. Primary motivator for this was this does apparently have all the knobs, but otherwise it's a disaster. Again, untested CRT. I don't even think it's the right. This might be a replacement, because the original has a different high voltage connector. The chassis is all rusted out. There's bits missing underneath, it looks like. The irreplaceable dial glass is broken. I bought this for the and perhaps maybe the picture tube is good. So 20 bucks for that. The cabinet is in so condition. It's falling apart. When I got home and picked it up, this fell off. That's the veneer on the other side. So, but it does have the back. So if nothing else, I could probably sell some of this stuff. Maybe just sell the cabinet or sell the back on eBay or something and make my money back. That leaves the Scott to talk about. So this was weird. In the end, I paid more than I should have if this was on the open market. But it's going to a good cause. It's going to the museum. It was donated to them. So be it. I paid $100 total. Initially, the first night I was there, I was helped setting up and move some stuff, and I saw the back just sitting by itself. And I paid 20 bucks for it, because I figured I will never see another back for one of these in the rest of my life. The next day, I found the bulk of the set in a corner, but no screen and missing a side. But I said, 80 bucks, because it has a knob that I will never find. And I actually paid the 80 bucks before I found the screen or the missing side, primarily for parts and for that knob. As I was finding the parts, I was thinking, hey, maybe I can restore this, but check this out. This set got wet. The bottom is like a limp noodle. Chunks of it have been falling off. The plywood's completely laminated and mildewy. So when you pick this up, the whole thing wobbles. The individual chassis are just, the plywood is just gone. That being said, could it be rebuilt? That was my initial thought. So at first I didn't realize how bad the bottom was. So this side looks decent. The front looks okay. We've got a side, well, that would have to be rebuilt. And then I think I have most of the top. And the screen. I have to see if all the mechanism is there for the tilt up. There should be some cardboard black fold out shields on the side to block light. Those could be fabricated without too much trouble. Bigger issue though is the insides. This thing was exposed to the environment. Probably because the top fell off and it was just out there. This is rough. That is supposed to be super clear. That's a corrective contact lens, just like in the big RCA projection set. So here's a little base of the 3-inch projection CRT. It projects that way, and then there's a 45-degree front surface mirror inside this box, and it shines straight up the top. And this lens is there to help focus correct for astigmatism or whatever. Maybe that'll clean up, maybe not. It is a critical component to this. I don't know if any of this rest of the stuff is any good. There's a high voltage generator, power supply, and that's the tuner chassis, yoke, and yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. These are pretty rare sets. Totally complete, nice condition, unrestored. They'd probably sell for more like $300. Totally restored, minty looking. I don't know because I've been working. Because I haven't seen one of those sell. Now with this set came this bag, which has, I believe, the piece of broken off dial glass and the rest of the knobs. And there's some other stuff in here too. So let's take this inside and see what's actually in this bag. Thought you might also like a look at the 5TP4 I picked up. So there's an old label on it. Columbus, Ohio, so maybe it's always been in Ohio up till now. We have a warning about glass breakage and flying and whatnot. And there she is. Look at those shiny getters. That would be the conductive coating. So, since this conductive coating goes right to that high voltage lead, I'm thinking this entire coating must be at the high voltage potential. I'm surprised it goes that far down the neck. So, we obviously don't want to mess with that coating, but yeah, it's a very pretty thing to see. Final thing, let's see what came in the bag with the 2-month set. I want to print out at the Sam's, photo fact. I think I have an original around here somewhere. The piece of dial that broke off, I guess this is phenolic. It could be glued, I don't know how visible it'd be to see. And dial glass, which I think we accidentally dropped. But I don't think it was all there though, so it doesn't, I'll have to look at the set to see how big it's supposed to be. Knobs, yes, wooden knobs. I think the remaining ones are all on the set, so I think it does have a complete set. I bet these look real nice when they're refinished. But hardware and speaker, which has seen better days. You know, I patched one that was worse. I hate recoating speakers. I'll just get that out there. Especially when you can't get a modern cone that will fit right. This is paper. The modern ones tend to be some type of synthetic material in the middle, I think, and have foam surrounds, and they just don't, even if you get one that's the right size, they don't tend to fit quite right. So I try really hard to patch up the original cones if at all possible, so it's not a total loss. So the reason this is important too is I'm restoring one of these, or a similar Dumont for a client, and he cannot find the speaker. He knows he had it. He put it somewhere. He's been looking for it for a year. So in the meantime, maybe we can make use of this, or maybe not. That transformer, that looks problematic. Well, we'll check for continuity. I don't even know where the heck the leads are. I don't know if they got gnawed on by a rodent or what. Jeez, it looks like, I don't know what happened to this thing. It looks like it exploded. Jeez. Okay. Anyways, so that's going to be it for now. Hope you enjoyed this video footage of the Swapmeet such as it was. We'll be doing more in-depth triage on these sets in the near future. Thanks for watching.